So today we're reviewing the HDX 3-shelf storage unit. I'm going to show you exactly what it comes with, exactly how to assemble it. The instructions are pretty good, but I always figure on these things it's probably better to watch a video and watch somebody else making the mistakes for you. And this shelving unit has a huge capacity. 250 pounds per shelf. 3 shelves, 750 pound load. But it does beg the question, doesn't it? Who puts that amount of weight on the shelves? But it's nice to know they can take it. Some of my model cars are quite heavy, but not that heavy. The shelving unit is 24 inches wide, 14 inches deep and 30 inches high. Now, as I say, there is some self-assembly required because this box is not 30 inches high. But it's very easy to put together, certainly can be done by one person. Anyway, let me unbox it, show you all the parts, let's put this thing together. Okay, let's get it out of the box, see what we get for our money. These are relatively cheap, about $21 in Home Depot. Quite funny because the last one I unboxed just fell out of the box, and this one is proving quite a fight. Well, for sure, it's very well packed. First thing to do, remove all these Ziploc ties. It's fairly straightforward to put together one of these, as I'll show you. Okay, it comes with 3 shelves, so let's get those apart. Now, there are these little plastic parts, these, which you can get rid of. They have absolutely no use whatsoever. And if you get this, you might be thinking, what am I keeping this for? You don't need to keep these little round plastic spacers. One threaded insert, which is interesting because last time all 4 threaded inserts were fitted to the legs already. Now, I'm just going to remove everything quickly from the packaging. Now, I did just mention those threaded inserts. This leg has come with one already fitted. This leg has come with one already fitted. And yet those two were in separate plastic bags for inserting into here. And the one I bought the other day, which I didn't do the video of, which made me think of doing a video of it, all 4 of these were already installed. All you need to do is screw them in by hand in there. Just ensure that they're not cross-threaded. There's not really any way to tighten them, and just make sure they're finger tight. You needn't tighten them super tight because when you fit the other half of the leg, that will tighten them right up. Now, these 4, the bottom 4 legs, which have got the adjustable screw thread on there for the height, you want to make sure they're all the same. Personally, I just screw them right the way down on there, but you may have the need to raise the leg up on there. But if you screw them right the way down, they're all going to be the same height. I haven't unpacked the legs. There should be 4 of these long ones with the adjustable screw on the bottom, and 4 of the shorter ones where you put the screw thread insert in the top if it's not already in. As I say, the first one of these shelving units I bought came with all 4 of these installed. This one, 2 of them were in separate bags needing installing. As I say, 3 shelves, our instruction manual, and more importantly, all the items for setting the shelf height on the legs. So let me unbox these and show you exactly how to put it together. In this little red plastic bag it comes with one spare set of the what they call tapered sleeves. Now you've got 3 bags of those, which I'll come on to in just a second. In the 4th bag you have a couple of washers, a couple of screws and roll plugs. This is for if you want to secure the shelf unit back to a wall to stop it tipping forwards, etc, etc. So I'm not going to be using those today, so I'll just put those to one side for the minute. Now when it comes to setting the height of the shelves, you will notice each of these legs has a little like ridge around it on here, and in that bag is contained these plastic parts, very handily marked, top on both sides, top on that side, so you can turn it around on there, and it's going to fit together almost in a castellated section like that. You will note on the inside of it there is a little ridge. Okay, that is going to click in like that. So if I try and move that up and down, even though it's not held on yet, the ridge inside the plastic is now sitting inside that groove in there. That one also facing towards the top. Same thing, click that home, nice and easy on there, and that now holds itself in place. It can't move up and down. That is actually going to hold that 250 pounds in weight. It's a simple system, but having used these extensively, it definitely works. When it comes to the legs, nice and simple. We're going to take one of the long ones, one of the short ones, and using that screw thread, simply twist them round in opposite directions like that until they lock together. Now do you see how each one self-tightens on there? So even though that one is a little bit loose, that you can see on there, when it's tightened up, I will then be able to tighten the whole thing. So quite simple to put together. I mean, you could probably put this together, I'd probably put this together in 2 minutes flat if I wasn't filming it. But just make sure each one of the legs is screwed together nice and tightly. No need for any mechanical device like pliers or anything like that on there. You can do this just by hand. So with all 4 legs ready, let me show you how to fit the tapered sleeves and set the shelf height. Okay, I've set my legs to the side. These are all of the tapered sleeve parts on here. As I say, each one is very clearly labelled with a little arrow saying top on one half and top on the other half. They're identical, so you can't go wrong. You're not got to worry about pairing them up on there because each one has a nick cut in it and a lug sticking out of the other side. So every one is identical, and they've all got that little ridge inside which grips onto the rail. And the shelves, depending on which way you've taken them out of the packet, will depend on whether they're ready to use or not. If you look at it, each one is tapered, hence the tapered plastic sleeve on here. You want the bit that's narrower towards the top, the bit that is wider towards the bottom, otherwise you're just going to be fighting against yourself when it comes to assembling the shelves. As an example, the top 2 in the packet are facing the right way up with the tapered bit towards the top. The bottom one, we've got the wider part facing upwards and the narrower part facing downwards, so I need to turn that bottom shelf around. Basically, well, your basic rule of thumb is you want the bit that's inset facing downwards. Okay, so with all 4 legs in now, you want to make sure you give them a good little push home, otherwise when you turn it upside down they might want to fall out. And once you've got it on the side there, again, I would lean and put it on there. That bottom shelf is now in a position to take 250 pounds in weight purely through that little piece of plastic. And it comes with a warning sticker which highlights that children have died with furniture tipping over, hence the kit with the 2 washers and the 2 screws for fastening this to the wall if you need to do so. And at this point it's time to fit our second shelf. So you're going to set it at the height you want, but what I would recommend doing is counting up these hoops. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I reckon about there, about 11 for my second one on there. Face it again, each part facing towards the top. Once they're located in the ridge, clip them on, slide it, it shouldn't move up and down. Now you're going to need to count up the same amount of spaces on there on each side to ensure the shelf is level when it goes on. And when you've counted up exactly the same number of spaces from the side, you can also look from the side to make sure they're in line as I do here, because the first slot I've put it on isn't the right one, and I then end up needing to move it upright, but they're very easy to simply pop apart, slide one up, and job done, second spacer in place. You can look across visually to ensure that they are at the same height, or you could get a tape measure on there, but it's imperative that all 4 are sitting at the same height. Now I'm going to do the same with the other 2 posts on here. Now don't at any point think you can cheat and fit all of the collars on before fitting the shelves on, because each shelf would catch on the first collar that it reaches, if that makes sense. So you're going to have to do these one at a time. And look across from the side to make sure it's in line before snapping the collar home. Then do the same with the last one on the middle shelf. And I say, when fitting these, the one thing is imperative that you fit them with the top arrow pointing towards the top of the unit, otherwise all your shelves are just going to want to slide down or not fit at all. So those on. Time to fit my second shelf, and I have a feeling I may have left it a little bit lower than I wanted. But that's sitting nice and level, so just push it down like that, and that then locks itself in place on there. Now for setting the height of this shelf to this top one, I would simply count down from the top rather than counting up from the bottom. So I'm just going to go 1 slot down on there, that's that ridge on there. there we are, our remaining 4 tapered spaces in place. And that's our 3rd shelf in place. So there we are, the HDX 3-shelf storage unit. It comes with a spare set of sliders should you break one, which is quite nice to see in here. I would recommend, before you move it, pushing down on every shelf nice and firmly to ensure that they are like wedged in against the tapered parts on here. The reason for that is because otherwise when you try and lift it up, if you've not pushed them down enough, you'll lift the shelf up and the rest of the thing will still be sat on the floor, if that makes sense. Whereas now push them down, you can lift it up like that. That would be my one tip of advice for you. Otherwise you're going to kind of undo all your hard work on there. Anyway, I hope this review of the HDX 3-shelf storage unit was of use. I use a lot of these for putting my RC cars around there. They come with a kit that fastens them to the wall if you want. But in general, these are probably some of the sturdiest shelves out there that you can buy, and certainly for around about $22 from Home Depot, pretty much unbeatable on price. Anyway, if you like this review, if you found it useful, then please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.